What's up, guys? Kirk Gibson here. Today I'm going to break down the transformation of Antoine Davis. He was the 2023 AUDL Defensive Player of the Year, and he won the AUDL 2023 Championship Weekend MVP for the New York Empire. So he's really had a transformation just even within the last year. He's always been a really great athlete, really fast, one of the fastest players in the league. But he's really, this last year, just upped his game tremendously. So I'm going to look at some championship game footage, even from just the last year. I like to look at championship game footage because I think everybody's bringing their all. You're bringing the best that you can. You're playing against the best competition. I think it's the best place to evaluate changes in talent and performance when you're playing against the best. So I'm going to look here first at the 2022, just 1 year prior, the championship game, New York Empire versus the Chicago Union. And we're going to see just, again, Antoine's made a huge transformation. So we're just going to look at some of his old championship footage and kind of how he plays defense just a year ago. So right away, Antoine's going to be coming down on Ross right here in the middle of the screen. He was behind Ross, gives him a lot of space. Ross has pretty much an easy open under. Ross is a fast player, but if I'm Antoine with his speed, want to play closer defense than that. I'm going to play it here. It's a backhand mark, and he gets broken upfield pretty easily. So I'll just play that again. Again, he gives Ross some space. You're looking right over here. Ross does a quick flake and gets beaten up down the break side, causing what ends up being a goal. All right, now we're looking later in the game. Again, same basically play, and I'm just going to play that again. Ross literally just sprints under right here. Antoine's behind him, runs past him. So now Antoine's behind his guys, so isn't able to stop. He's going so fast, doesn't stop, and runs past him, giving Ross a much easier potential throw here. So again, he just makes a pretty easy upfield throw. So just watch Antoine here and Ross. He's, it's okay to play off your guy when it's on the offside of the field, but Antoine gives quite a bit of space, and that was a theme if you kind of go back and watch some of the footage. And again, giving space is not bad, but the amount of space that he gives is really too much to be able to make potential plays, and you'll see that. And one of the things Antoine does in 2023 is he's a lot closer to his guy, allowing to, yes, still give buffer, but he's able to catch up and get a lot more Ds, and you see that in 2023. Okay, so now we're going to look at another clip. Again, Antoine's guarding Ross. I've got it paused here. He's giving him quite a bit of buffer. Really no need for that. There is defender help behind, and you're just going to see Ross kind of Antoine is looking at the thrower. Ross just kind of runs right by and it gives him space. Antoine knows there's defenders behind him, so he's probably okay. But you'll see that kind of positioning later in the game, and he actually ends up getting burned here. So he gets behind him. Nothing happens. We'll just play on here. Ross comes here on the other side of the screen. And so watch that. Antoine's going to have a similar position here. He's giving him a little bit of buffer. So Ross is going to make a quick cut. And so Antoine doesn't really make a hard kind of like reaction to Ross's upfield cut. Ross is going hard. Antoine's slow to realize, what's happening? Is there going to be a throw, or what's the threat? Really, you should be running harder to potentially get there. And then he ends up making a huck, and Ross should have caught that. He ends up getting close enough, but in reality, if that was a better throw, not kind of blady, you just kind of go back. Let's just look. Again, we're going to go back, see Antoine here, and let's just watch. So Ross making an undercut. Antoine kind of freezes. He's not really on his toes, right? He's not really in a ready position. He's kind of standing straight up. I think part of that is fatigue and not good training in this scenario. So Ross kind of he's getting 5 yards. He's still accelerating faster. Disc is moving upfield, and Paul sees it. It's just not the greatest throw, so he's still able to make a play. But again, not the greatest ready position, not on your toes, and not as reactionary as probably should be for one of Chicago's primary cutters. Okay, so we're a little later in the game now. You're going to see a very similar cut from Ross, number 25 here on the bottom of your screen. It's basically the same cut he's run 3 or 4 times already prior. And Antoine doesn't really adjust here. You see some of the other defenders close here. Antoine's still not even on your screen. Ross is able to just get a really easy under. Could have potentially got a throw off and pretty much gets off the throw that he wants. Okay, so you're going to see right here, Antoine plays good defense there. Ross goes off screen. He's going to come back down this back side. As you'll see, there's Ross right here. So Antoine gives him a buffer. Disc is on the other side. That's okay. But as you see, the disc swings back. His head is looking downfield over here. He completely looks away from Ross, and he's kind of looking at the action here and isn't really aware of what Ross is doing. So you can see he starts getting way too far away. He's almost 20-ish yards away. Ross is getting a wide open swing. I mean, there's just no reason for that type of buffer. And what ends up happening here is Ross gets a free throw and is able to get a huck off. Randolph plays good D, but the throw ends up getting completed. So again, just another situation of being less aware and getting too far away from your from his offender. Okay, so here's a similar situation where the disc is on this side of the field. Ross and Antoine are over here on the right side. But Antoine plays this better. He's closer to Ross. He makes an adjustment, stops that throw. They do get the around off for no gain. But here's what I want to call out. So watch Antoine's mark. He's a long guy. He's a long body, and he really should be able to stop most kind of hucks. And you're going to see he's kind of hunched over a little bit here. You can't really tell from this angle, but Jeff takes off, and Ross is able to get off a pretty, full wind-up huck, which for a guy like Antoine should be able to stop or at least make that a little bit more loopy. But he was able to pretty much get that off, and I think that partially, again, that it's a fitness thing. Isn't really close. You can see right here from this angle, he's very hunched over. And when you're very hunched over like that, one, it shows fatigue, potential lack of fitness, but also it's much harder to be on your toes and be agile and moving on the mark. He's pretty just flat and stagnant and isn't really going to react too quickly to any type of motion. So Ross is kind of looking around. You can see this in slow motion. He moves as soon as he makes a quick motion to that left. Ross is able to get that off. I'm going to play that again. I'm just going to play this one more time. We'll just watch Antoine. He does a quick little shift, and then he's not able to get back over. Ross is able to wind up and get a nice huck off. So again, just an example of, I think, fitness playing a factor because he's very fast, very quick, should be able to make that. But now I'm going to show you 2023 and what a night and day difference and truly transformational for Antoine. Okay, this is now the AUDL 2023 championship game, New York versus Salt Lake. Antoine's guarding Jordan Kerr, very speedy receiver, one of the top players in the league. Antoine had just come off of playing really, really well, basically shutting down Kyle Henke of the Austin Soul in the previous semifinal. But again, this is the championship game, and this is the setup is almost similar to Chicago. This is the first point of the game, and I want you to just watch the difference. And I think it's clear his mentality has changed. His aggressiveness has changed. And I think a big part of that is his fitness level. I would be willing to bet he has trained. He has been able to improve his fitness, which has helped his mental strength to be able to just get more aggressive. And so Jordan's lined up on the bottom side of your screen, just like Ross was. If you remember, he just kind of would sprint across and get these unders, and Antoine was behind. But I'm just going to play this through, and I want you to watch Antoine guard Jordan here, just the differences that he plays. So again, disc doesn't go to Jordan's side, but watch Antoine. If you remember the cushion that he gave Ross in so many scenarios, watch this. He's already giving that arm right there to Jordan, saying, hey, I'm here. I'm ready to go wherever you are going to go. I'm going to be right there. So he's already playing much more aggressively. Watch how close he is. He's moving with him. He's not giving him much of a buffer. And when he cuts, again, there's another important thing that just happened right there. Watch as soon as Jordan makes this cut deep. Antoine does a quick look, and he's close to him. If you remember when Ross was making those cuts, he was a lot farther off, not as aware and not as on his toes in ready position. So already right there playing great defense and with a different mentality. All right, so now we're just going to watch and play for the next 30 seconds or so. You're going to see Antoine just play D on Jordan this whole point. He does such a really good job and just staying close to his guy and being aware and agile in ready position. So you're going to watch Jordan gets the throw off, and just watch here these next seconds. Watch Antoine right here. He's ready. He's anticipating the move. I'm going to go back. Watch Antoine. He's going to shuffle his feet. He's kind of anticipating right here. He was ready position. He's lower than Jordan, anticipating, is Jordan going to cut across the field? Is he going to come back? He's ready to stop almost anything. He also could be ready if another Salt Lake offender kind of gets in the lane, but he's in ready position, staying close and being ready. He's lower than Jordan. So already amazing improvement, something you didn't really see in last year's championship game or prior. So again, we're just going to play this out. He's close. See, he's agile. He's ready. He's giving him a little bit of buffer. He knows he's got speed. Jordan quickly calls for it, hangs up a little bit, and Antoine's able to make a really great play. Awesome play. And again, that was because he was in ready position. Watch here on the left side of your screen. He's staying with him. He's staying up, and he's ready to attack. As soon as that disc goes up, he accelerates. He's always had that speed, but he was ready to make that play, whereas previous years and even in last year's championship game was a little bit behind. Okay, so we're just going to watch another point here from Antoine guarding Jordan. You're going to see right here in the beginning, Antoine's right here at the top right of your screen guarding Jordan. Jordan's just going to cut straight across. Antoine is going to be there right there close to him. It's good team defense from New York. Wouldn't have really been able to get anything off unless it was inside out. But I want you to just look. I'm going to rewind here because you can catch Antoine on the left side of your screen. As soon as this switches, watch the top left part of your screen. Antoine's just right there with Jordan. Again, remember going back to him and how he played Ross. He was giving him so much buffer. Jordan, one of the fastest players in the league, all-star. Antoine is just in his shorts, and you can see that just by kind of the tussling that's going on. So he's right there. His hand was right there. And then you see now the huck goes off. Antoine was playing tough. He was playing tight. And Jordan turned around. He knows he's got speed. He's not going to give him that much of a buffer. And as soon as that huck goes up, Antoine is he's close enough, able to catch up. And, of course, he's got height. He's long and can get up and make a play. So huge improvement from how he was guarding Ross, again, just a year ago. All right, so now I'm going to show you his improvement on the mark. You saw him get broken from Ross and that huck that went off as well, just not being as on his feet, on his toes in ready position and being active on the mark. And you're going to see Jordan catches his under here, and just watch Antoine here in full speed. He gets his foot out, almost gets that foot block. I'm going to play that again because, again, this is he's ready position. So remember I talked about his back being really bent over when he was marking Ross on that huck that Ross got off. He was almost like 90 degrees hunched over. Now Antoine, his head is up. His back is more at a 45-degree angle. Clearly, he's much more in ready position. His hands are out, so he's able to be more centered, more on his toes, have a better center of gravity, and then able to be more agile. And so as Jordan gets that off, Antoine is already foot out there, almost makes a play, and just puts a lot more pressure on that throw. And that just makes a thrower like Jordan think even further. Ooh, now I should have that throw, but now next time I got to watch out for Antoine's foot, so I just might not throw it. And that's what a thrower will think about when a marker's that active and can move that quickly. So huge improvement on the mark. Okay, so this is later in the point, and Antoine's playing dump defense on Jordan right there in the space. And Antoine just does a really good job of playing Jordan here, where you see right there, pretty much shuts him down right there. He's right with him, The speed forces Joel to throw elsewhere. It ends up being a goal, but that's a really hard thing to do, to play dump defense in the space. Antoine's right there with him, hands out, in ready position. I mean, that's a fitness thing. I would argue he's always had that speed and agility. He's just in much better shape. This is the third quarter now, and he's still just all over him. Okay, so now we're just going to, again, watch Antoine's readiness, his ability to stay alert and being in ready position when cutters are potentially making cuts. So Antoine's here in the top right part of your screen guarding Jordan, and just watch his readiness. Jordan doesn't get the disc. Nothing really happens here, but that's because Antoine prevents it. Watch him. He's ready. He knows Jordan wants to do something. He's seeing he potentially wants to come under. Antoine's just right there with him in his shorts. So Jordan doesn't even make the cut. Again, subtle right there. I'm going to play that back again. Okay, watch him. He just kind of like bumps into him a little bit, playing close, just saying, hey, I'm right here. I'm right here. New York ends up getting the D. But that was honestly, he basically, that's where they're looking for Jordan in that situation. He's their best player. And Antoine's just honing in. Look, he's watching the thrower and just knows Jordan's probably going to make that cut. And he's right there with him, staying aggressive. All right, here you're going to see Jordan catches it under right off the pull. And Antoine, again, going to show off a good mark here that he's in ready position, using his arms, using his feet. So I'm just going to play this through. You see him right at the top of your screen. So Jordan, again, watch when he catches this. Antoine already sticks his right foot out right there. So, he almost does it again because Jordan did throw that quick flick. He stops him from doing that and kind of throws a sideways pass for 1 or 2 yard gain. So that was, again, Antoine showing his aggressiveness, his ability to move on the mark, make the thrower think, and cause him to just throw a short pass for virtually no gain. Much different than last year. All right, so we're going to play out kind of the rest of this point. Just watch Antoine guard Jordan in the dump space for most of this point, and it's pretty impressive. Jordan's not able to touch the disc, and so Jordan and Antoine are here on the left side of your screen. Antoine's just tight. He's ready. He's agile. He's anticipating, and it's pretty impressive to watch. So watch when Jordan slows down. You can tell he's not even trying to sometimes make a play because he knows Antoine. Watch Antoine right here. Look at this. Look at that good D. He's right with him, moves, tries to cut off. He's already right there with him. There's no catching up or anything like that. He is right there. Jordan tries to make a play, nothing there. So, again, very impressive defense. He's ready position and just all over Jordan. Again, much different than you would have seen last year. All right, so this is another point where Antoine, again, showing aggressiveness, readiness, agility, and awareness on just all over the field. So Antoine's on the left side of your screen right here. Jordan is going to cut under, and you can just tell he's right up on him. He's slowing down. He's just ready. He's only giving him a few yards buffer. He's not overselling, and then he just uses his speed to get right by it. You could argue Jordan should have cut it off a little bit, but Antoine had just been all over him the whole game, and so Antoine being right tight on him right here on the left side of the screen. Jordan not sure what's happening. He had to wait a little bit for that throw, and Antoine just runs right by it. It's just, again, really, really, really good defense. All right, here's going to be an example of Antoine just getting over on the mark. Joel is going to kind of get the disc out here on the bottom side of the screen, and Antoine's going to push out, you get over there quick and force a turnover here. So just watch Antoine, sees the huck, and he gets over enough where Joel ends up throwing a turnover there. So that was just pressure from Antoine. Again, replaying it, Antoine right there, looks over his shoulder. The key there is he looks over his shoulder. You see him look over his shoulder. What's the threat? And as soon as that happens, he really gets over and stops that throw. Heads up play from Antoine. All right, so this is another dump defense, really great dump defense point from Antoine. This is, again, they're up 9. The game is pretty much over, and Antoine is still just working Jordan here. So just watch. Antoine's here on the left side of your screen. He's guarding Jordan. So it's basically one-on-one battles here. Stays close. Jordan gets open. and he makes a very good throw. I mean, that is a hard throw. Lefties are tough to guard, and he gets off the break there, but I would say that is a tough throw. He basically runs a whole circle. Antoine gets over and is still in a good position to make that throw hard. That could have easily been a hand block or a throw that's thrown behind. Here, again, he's playing defense. Again, they're up 9. Game is over, and he's still right in Jordan's shorts. Makes this really hard and maybe gets away with a little grab there. But either way, Jordan does get the disc again, but making it really hard on Jordan to get it. So again, Antoine has literally transformed the way that he plays defense. He really impressed me just looking at some of the footage from just a year ago, and even heard Brian Jones say in some of the commentary that even just from earlier in 2023. So I don't know the exact reason why, but I would argue his fitness is a lot better. Certainly playing against top competition on his team has helped him, from an awareness standpoint on the field, but just kind of going back and watching him, he's always had the athleticism, always had the speed, but it was really, really impressive to watch that transformation. So we'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments on the transformation from Antoine and his defensive improvement, Defensive Player of the Year 2023 Championship Weekend MVP. It's great to see. I know he's a GPP athlete, and we'd love to hear your comments and thoughts on Antoine's transformation below. Thanks for watching, guys.